Hi everyone. So what I decided is that let me start with a case study which is my own. 4 years back, I started this law firm called Priyanka Chaudhary and Associates in M&E industry, media and entertainment. We are fondly also called PCA Legal. We ace in M&E law, but what we realized is that let's not do things traditionally. There is a lot of content clearance that we do. There is a lot of contracts that we do. There is a lot of legal work that happens where we realize that the clients look at efficiency not just in billing. Initially, what happened is, and I don't know if anyone from the crowd is aware, but the law firms bill per hour. That's the biggest way of billing. But today, clients have got smarter. They know there are technologies, they know there's AI systems that can help, and they expect efficiency. They expect that the billing that happens for the real lawyer work and not for the clerical work. So that is where we started thinking of what can we do? How can we marry technology with legal skill sets and deliver better results for our client in a lesser amount that they pay? Because the motto that we have as a law firm is that clients come first, which is not just in terms of the quality of work we deliver, but also the speed and also the billing that we charge our clients for. So there are multiple things in terms of, let's say, contracts, in terms of legal clearance. As I told you, legal clearance in media world is a little unique, where there are scripts that are cleared to identify legal issues, content that is cleared to mitigate legal risk and policy risk and compliance risk. So there are many companies that we saw specifically globally that have started devising technology, apps or filter tools which help lawyers do the lawyer's job. What do I mean when I say lawyer do the lawyer's job? Is to not waste time in clerical jobs, but to actually mitigate the legal risk after identifying it and deep diving on the legal part of it, which is studying law, finding innovative ways and not curb creative freedom. So this is what we saw, and we thought, okay, let's experiment, let's see how we do it. So what we started with is we started with seeing the efficiency that us as a team of lawyers have. We are a small bunch of team. We are just like 8 to 9 lawyers, but everyone, I can proudly tell you, is a lawyer and doing the lawyer's job and not just a clerical job to bill our clients. So what we did is we tried to identify things which we can see how efficient we become after using it. So we tried to use a particular tool which helped us map our time spent. So what happened is we started seeing that, okay, the lawyers automatically get information that, hey, you haven't used your time efficiently. If you're working for 10 hours, out of that 4 hours, I saw that you're just doing clerical job. So the lawyers started getting pop-ups. The lawyers started getting an understanding of how things will operate if they completely eliminate that part and use it for research, use it for complicated drafting, using it for business negotiation or focusing on business affairs. One of the other things also which we benefited through technology and AI usage is duplication of work. So what happens in a law firm specifically, it happens in-house as well, but majorly in law firms, the billing is per hour or per mandate, as we say it in our legal language. For that, the teams have to maintain an Excel sheet or a tracker. The lawyers kind of started getting very frustrated, saying that, oh, I'm doing clerical job, I'm putting this trackers, I'm making X, I'm making Y, so should we work or should we do this? Then there is a tool that helped us where the entire work list that everybody makes in the morning is the only thing that they do. And obviously everybody has to make a work list, otherwise what are we doing at work, right? So the work list that we have, that started getting used to funnel in more information and started passing to respective people. So let's say, for example, let's say lawyer A has made a work list, has sent it to the manager, and that's all. The manager gets the data automated. It populates, there is revision, they make it, it automatically goes to, let's say, me, or automatic escalations. Nobody has to monitor it humanly. We don't miss our TAT. We don't miss any follow-ups. That's a great thing. Our court dates are proper. Nobody misses a court date or is not like prepared for the court date. Everything happens before time. And what happens is, which is the most important thing which makes the founder happy, which is me, which is that billing happens on time because the data is also sent to the accounts team. So the accounts team automatically gets it without the lawyers being troubled and asked to do the timesheets or trackers for the accounts team to even do the billing. So technology, we realize, can be also used for work and X work, which is our operational part of it. So that was super beneficial, and that really helped the team focus on the job. One of the other things also that we are now trying to see is how we can use technology and try to bring it to a level where we can get some more assistance in the script clearance that we do. So obviously it's great for lawyers to read the entire script and identify things on their own, but if we can do like a first level of filter, or we can have somebody in terms of technology help us with that, that is something that we are looking at, so that the lawyers can actually focus time on the research. This is something that some company in US has already done, and it's in testing phase. So we will see how it goes. But I see a lot of change. I see a lot of efficiency, productivity is being built for law firms and also in-house teams through technology for operational work and better management, and also for the core work. I am not like in favor of saying a thing that, okay, AI will replace lawyers. I don't think it will. But what I think is, if AI and technology used absolutely bang on, can use and help lawyers become more efficient, get a better working life, and also do a robust job. Because if a first level job is helped and assisted for, then the senior work, or the major work as we say, can be really well done. So we are figuring how it is. There are a lot of concerns in terms of confidentiality, because the lawyers have a privilege as a legal concept. So we are figuring how that is. Globally, the entire profession has come together. We are all sharing our ideas, we're brainstorming. Wherever we see that a good tool is getting created or tested, we share our information. We've all come together in this journey of tech and AI to make legal profession better, irrespective of a law firm or in-house. It's just right now, it's just a quest to find the best that we can, but 100% we as a firm have benefited. And one of the tools that we have also used is Great HR, which is created by TUDIP, and has already helped us a lot in terms of being more productive and lesser time consumed on operational things, including can be HR, can be human resources, can be in terms of managing the trackers that I just mentioned, and it has really helped my team. So I can see that they are also more accepting now in terms of using these technologies, and eventually we're looking for great tools like these to come up and create it and help us in the profession. But yeah, that is a real case study, and very happy to say that it had 100% success rate. So we're there. Any questions, any suggestions? Happy to hear, happy to take questions.
So do you create the AI model using lawyers to train the model, or you get it developed independently?
So that's a great question. So ideally, we as a core business, we don't do that. We have set up a legal ops to do more research internally, where lawyers who don't have skill set of practicing as a lawyer, but they are lawyers by academics. So they like tech and legal ops. So we have found people like those, and we have hired 2 people who are working with us in terms of identifying how more we can work. But they are not software creators. They are not tech people to do it. They are lawyers who know technology, who understand technology, and who can talk technology, if I can say so. But we will definitely need for, as I told you, for Great HR, which is known as Kuber, we worked with the TUDIP team on that. So we are looking at companies and creators who can actually create such softwares, where we can tie up, or where we can get our softwares or specific requirement softwares, as I told you about the script clearance and all of that, made. But in-house, we don't have the skill sets. We can only do legal ops. We can't build softwares and things. If that answers your question.
In a way, yes. I think where I'm heading with that is, if you have a large team of practicing lawyers, they could all share knowledge, contribute to building a more powerful AI model, which will help you guys in your own efficiency. and that could actually go into different countries for the various legal jurisprudence that you would have.
Oh, 100%. Fully aligned on that. And that's why we've hired like 2 legal ops people who are working with like my main set of lawyers and me to understand what is required, because legal space is such a vast space. So for example, if you take litigation requirements are different, right? So we understood that we every day need case laws, and every day all lawyers run around when, we have to provide something to our arguing counsels. So now what we are looking at is, do we have like a system that can just, like for example, you just write defamation, Mumbai court, and you just get your data. So we have the data, but sorting the data and getting it to us on time is what saves the time. So similarly, if there is a contracts kind of a tool, so that is completely different work. Then if it is a script clearance tool, it's a completely different work. So the legal ops people that we have hired are given that mandate to filter it and to study how the lawyers are working. What else can we do? And what you said is a lot of law firms are doing it, and a lot of great setups in US have already started, where they're building in such robust like legal tools that in-house and law firms can just hire and can pay a license fee, and your first filtering of your contracts can be done. Your first filtering of XYZ can be done. So you're absolutely correct. People are doing that, and we'll be happy to do it, but we just are doing our own research, because the focus right now is to just get like our act sorted, because right now all law firms are going the way of quality, which means you have 10 people but you have 10 extremely brilliant lawyers, and that's where the ask of more technology, more robust tools and efficient tools has come forward. So I see what you're saying, we are heading there, but we're not there today.
Lawyers normally are required to be very thorough in what they are doing. They need to do a lot of background search, very, very articulate in what they are saying and doing. How do you think AI is maligning that? Maligning in the sense, information is available at your fingertip. A lot of it could be true, a lot of it could not be true. Now, most people I see or deal with who started with this, like, there was an era of people where people just knew to do things hard way. But then the people who are starting now, they are starting with the information handy immediately, without patience, without verifying. How do you think the industry, especially into the legal, would change or evolve with that?
That's a great question. So what we are seeing now is, because there's too much of comfort, so efficiency also equals to comfort. So when such tools come to a person like, let's say me, or a person who spent, let's say 10 years, in the profession, they use it to enhance what they know, or maybe get support, which will reduce the time. I'll give you an example. So let's say there are around 10 case laws that are required to be found, and if let's say somebody just has like understanding of what the nature of issue is, and you put that in a tool and then they throw like 10-15 cases, a lawyer still has to read it. Because if you say a judgment is broken into multiple parts in a court. The main thing is called a ratio decidendi. So the ratio is what the main judgment is, but that doesn't mean that you don't read the entire judgment, right? It's a 40-page judgment, so the lawyers will have to read it for sure. The lawyers will have to do deep work on it. But what happens is, it's available handy. Manually, nobody has to make it, like into a tracker, or just ensure that, there is a dependency on one person. Ki acha ye aaj work pe nahi hai to kaam nahi hoga. It's like that. But if you see the impact of that comfort with the younger generation, the young lawyers that we see have no inclination for research. But nobody, in my opinion, and this is my humble opinion, that nobody can become a great lawyer if skill set of research is not available. And that is where we struggle with the young lawyers. So I personally feel that AI or tech, if used right, is always an asset. If used wrong and just somebody uses it and becomes lazy, it's about their ambition and stuff. So I believe that it would not impact, but I believe that if used incorrectly, it has adverse impacts. Like everything, right? Every coin has two sides. It's pros and cons. And that is why today all law firms, specifically in India, I can tell you, because we all get together, we all like chat and we see what's happening in the profession. Everyone is choosing quality over quantity. Gone are the days where somebody used to take pride, I have a 120 team member team. Nobody cares. Are your 120 working lawyers? proper lawyers, skill set lawyers, can stand in front of a judge, can defend a case, can draft a complicated business arrangement. That is what people are looking at. And to achieve that skill set, you have to do your groundwork. But today, if there is a facility that you're getting to do your groundwork better, why not?
What, like, how many cases are there pending in Supreme Court? What, about 100,000?
More, I think.
More? And then if you include lower judiciary, you're talking about crore and a half, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't AI just gives the
Judgment?
yeah? I mean, I think that is the most apt use case when you look from the legal framework, right? Just resolve it and get done with it and start on a clean slate. So, what is stopping judges and judiciary to adopt AI?
Okay, great question again. What is stopping me from answering that is that I'm talking about a judge. But I'll tell you, and it's a good step that the judiciary has also taken. What we have heard is now a lot of tech and AI has been welcomed in the bar council space around the country. And they're first trying to use technology to get the reportings correct, get the matters listed. Everything is now digital. So they're trying to do that. I don't think AI will replace judges because that is an absolute core skill set, because the judgments or the Indian fundamentals is not just law. It is interpretation of law, natural justice and equity. And equity and natural justice is more of a human emotion that comes out, which means after you hearing evidence, after you seeing things, you interpret law, you apply that and also see the balance of justice. And that I don't think AI is well suited to do.
I would like to ask, in the industrial relationship where we are having a lot of legal aspects, so have you done something related to AI?
In terms of like legal work for it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we do like a lot of tech and stuff, and that's why I was just like not saying it very specifically because, as I said, privilege and confidentiality, but a lot of movement we see where people are developing a lot of tools and what are legal things that they need. So for us also, it's a great playing ground because we're seeing AI is unregulated right now, right, in the country. So that's the beauty for lawyers, because we then can make a consultation papers, go to the ministry, go to the judiciary and, get support. So we do that. That's the fun part of it. So we work on both sides, like aligning with public policy to get AI rules and regulations flexible in a way that people can breathe. But there is some regulation like for deepfakes and stuff like that. But also on the other side, we work where our clients are developing tools. But let's say a particular tool or a product has certain elements which have a different kind of legal risk attached or legal compliances attached. So yeah, we do that as well.
So basically the use case that is prevailing in the industry is the contract reading.
Yeah.
So many of the firms, they have already started using AI for contract reading for an initial screening, and then finally it is being given. So are you looking for, apart from this, other use cases are you looking that can be possible for industrial legal aspects that are coming in, like for preparing a paper while you're starting industry or when?
Sure. No, great question. That's a great question. So I'll first answer the first part of your question. So even in contracts, the law firms are not going all out. They are starting with like NDAs or basic NDAs, because NDAs like non-disclosure agreements are also very robust, but smaller ones or smaller service contracts, or so to say a job that a 1 year PQE to a 3 year PQE can do. The AI right now does that job. So that's what we've seen in the market for sure, the tools that we have seen or the conversations that I have with my peers. The second part of it, I see patent work, I see trademark work, I see a lot of copyright registration can be definitely looked at from a technology eye, because I believe that the process or the procedural work can definitely be reduced from a lawyer's bandwidth, and the lawyer can actually work in terms of, in a trademark, if there is an objection, you then file that objection, you reply from your legal skill set. But 60% is operational. So like filing the same paper, same applications. So if technology can minus that, I think it's great. Same for patent as well. A lot of the work, 60% for a lawyer, is procedural. So if the form templates are ready and you know exactly what you want, and only limited information can be fed in by a lawyer, and if the forms can come out, it's just reduction of time, no? So I think that can be a really great next step. Thank you.